On this video, I am going to finish or continue, I should say, what I started on the last video concerning the inductive Akkadian grammar. We looked at vocabulary and we read the first few lines of the Akkadian epilogue, or the Epilogue of Hammurabi's Law Code. And I'll read up to where I had stopped. Dinat misharim shahamurapi sharum leum ukinuma. That is, the laws of justice which Hammurabi, the competent king, set up. We had looked at the grammar just briefly, where dinat is a feminine plural from dinum, and misharim is a genitive singular, noun ending in im. Shah is the relative pronoun. Hammurabi is the proper name, or is the name of Hammurabi, referring to the king who of this law code. Sharum leum, sharum is king, and leum means capable, which the capable king, ukinuma, which the capable king set up or established. And ukinuma, by the way, sharum leum, sharum is a noun, king, leum is an adjective, capable, and ukinuma is a middle weak verb in Akkadian from kanu, and it's a D preterite, subjunctive, third masculine singular from kanu, to establish or set up. We pointed out that in Hebrew we have kun, which is very similar. It's sort of like a very parallel in a lot of ways to what we have here in Akkadian. We also looked at the Akkadian basic conjugations from parasu, to cut. We looked at the G preterite, iprus, he cut. We looked at the D preterite, uparis, he does something intensely, like the PL stem. He cut intensely. We looked at the sheen preterite stem. It's like the shafel in Aramaic, or the hitfil in Hebrew. It's a causative stem. Ushapris, where sha is inserted between the U, which begins a D stem, over against the I vowel, which begins the G stem. We looked at the in preterite then, iparis, from in paris, where the in stem, we could call that the in stem, by progressive assimilation caused the doubling of the first radical of the root. In paris becoming iparis, much like what happens in Hebrew. Yintain became yitain in the imperfect indicative active of Hebrew. Then we have the T infix stem, like a GT preterite, hiptaras, meaning it's the reciprocal or a reflexive meaning, and tan, iptanaras, which indicates an which indicates iterative meaning. Something is repeated. And then we have two tenses, are the preterite and past. We just have the two, the preterite and the past, and the present, I should say. So we have the preterite, the past, and the present or future. For Hebrew, we have the two, the perfect and the future. The verb parasu is the infinitive meaning to cut, which is the model verb that is often used in Akkadian grammar. So just by way of review, iprus is the G preterite, he cut. Iparas, the G present, he will cut, or future. Uparas, notice the U vowel preceding the D, or introducing the D stem. So he will cut, or he cut repeatedly, looking at more of an intensive kind or repetitious action. And then ushapris, as we said, is the sheen preterite. He caused to cut. And ushapras is the sheen present or future with the A vowel instead of the I vowel. And iparis is the in preterite. He or it was cut. From in paras, where the in has assimilated, or the P has assimilated the in by progressive assimilation. So now we move on to read the Akkadian grammar. So we stop with ukinu ma. Ma, by the way, and he established is a conjunction, simply meaning and. So we move on to talk about what Hammurabi established. And so the text goes on, Matam usam kinam uridam damkam ushats bitu. The land, reliable direction, usam kinam, and ridam damkam, good conduct, he caused to seize, ushats bitu. Looking at vocabulary, matum means land, and usum means direction. Kinum means reliable, an adjective. U is the conjunction. Ridum means conduct, and damkum means good, and sabatu means to seize. And so I'm going to just do a few phrases here, looking at the grammar and trying to understand it and put it together. So as we go back then, the laws of justice which Hammurabi, the competent king, set up, and matam usam, and the land, direction, reliable. I'm giving it a very literal translation. Matam is the accusative singular. Notice the am ending, the land. And then we have usam, the land, firm, matam, reliable direction. Matam, the land, is, like we've said, an accusative singular noun with the am ending. From matum, the land, usam, is the accusative singular, meaning direction or reliable direction, usam. Usam means direction, and usum is the vocabulary, and kinam, reliable direction, matam usam kinam. Kinam is the accusative adjective meaning firm or reliable, kinum. So Hammurabi claims to give reliable direction to the land. And then furthermore, line 7, uridam damkam, and good administration. Not only reliable direction, but good administration to the land. So as we look at this, notice here, u is the conjunction and, followed by the noun ridam. Notice again, the accusatives come first. So we have an accusative singular meaning administration from redum. And so good administration, then it's followed by the adjective dam cum. And here we have dam cum because we're looking at the accusative singular in dam cum, from dam cum. So firm or good administration, now we have u shots bitu. This is what we call a sheen preterite subjunctive, masculine singular from sabatu, to cause to seize. Notice as we look at this form, u shots bitu, we have the sheen preterite indicated by the sha infix, following the u vowel and preceding the stem. So we're looking at a causative stem. So he caused to seize. And we would parse it then as a sheen preterite, subjunctive, because it's following the sha and firm direction and good administration. He caused to seize. Let me just say one word about this. It is a subjunctive following the sha, where we had, just going back here a moment, dinat misharim sha, which Hammurabi the competent king caused. So this is indicative of a subjunctive that we're looking at here. And the verb is definitely a causative stem. The u prefix and the u suffix indicates the subjunctive due to the preceding sha, as we've said in line 3. So what we have here then is and ma tam usam kinam uridam damkam ushats bitu. That is, and the land, reliable direction, and good administration he caused to seize, or he established. And again, we're looking at a sheen preterite, subjunctive, third masculine singular, and that u gives it away as a sheen stem, followed by the infix, the sha. And the u ending is looking at a subjunctive, like we've said, at the end of the, it's not looking like a typical subjunctive in Greek or Latin, but it simply is being used here in showing that we have a subordinate clause. Sha in Akkadian, subordinate clauses, it's not expressing probability or wish as in Greek or Latin, but it is simply a subjunctive that is used in subordinate clauses. So let me stop there. And so what the king is claiming is that he is establishing the land with reliable direction and good administration. So again, reading where we've come so far, just hearing the Akkadian again, Dinat misharim shahamarapi, sharum leum ukinuma, matam usam kinam uridam damkam ushats bitu. So I'm going to stop there. This would be like lesson 2. And I'm trying to turn this possibly into an inductive Akkadian grammar with short lessons. So I hope this is helpful. We're working again through Hammurabi's Epilogue, and it's an easier Akkadian than doing some of the other, and it's very basic to understand Akkadian. So I hope this is helpful to somebody.